the smartest way you've ever tricked the school system? BSAT was my only shot at college. My family couldn't afford test prep courses, tutors, or multiple attempts. One test, one chance, everything riding on a single Saturday morning. The problem was math. I was decent at English, but algebra and geometry might as well have been written in ancient Greek. That's when I discovered something most people didn't know about the testing center at our school. They used the same classroom for SAT prep courses during the week. I volunteered to help set up chairs after Tuesday night prep sessions. While stacking furniture, I noticed something interesting. The classroom had never been renovated. Same desks, same layout, same everything, including the old intercom system from the 1980s. The intercom had been disconnected years ago, but the wiring was still there, and I'd learned enough about electronics in shop class to know how to make it work again. Over the next month, I slowly reconstructed the intercom system. Nothing obvious, just tiny modifications hidden under desks and behind wall panels. By test day, I had a working communication system that connected the SAT classroom to the library next door. My girlfriend Emma was taking the test a month later. She was a math genius. Perfect complement to my skills. The plan was simple. Emma would hide in the library during my test with answer sheets from our prep course. I'd tap Morse code on the intercom button under my desk. She'd tap back with the correct answers. SAT morning arrived. I was calm, confident, ready to execute the perfect plan. Everything went smoothly for the first section. English was easy enough that I didn't need help. But when we got to math, I started my signaling system. For 45 minutes, I received perfect math answers through an intercom system that officially didn't exist. When time was called, I felt like a genius. Not just for the answers, but for the system itself. I'd beaten the SAT through pure creativity and technical skill. 3 weeks later, my scores arrived. 1,580 out of 1,600. I was ecstatic. Harvard, Yale, Princeton, suddenly they were all possibilities. But then something weird happened. College Board called our high school. They wanted to investigate unusual score patterns in our testing center. Turns out, my scores weren't just good. They were statistically impossible. Going from practice scores in the 900s to 1580 triggered their fraud detection algorithms. But here's what they couldn't figure out. How I'd cheated. They reviewed security footage. Nothing suspicious. They interviewed proctors. Everyone confirmed I'd sat alone. Never looked at other papers. Never used unauthorized materials. They checked my test booklet for hidden notes. Clean. For 2 months, College Board investigators couldn't explain my score jump. They knew something was wrong but couldn't prove cheating. Finally, they offered me a deal. Retake the test under enhanced security conditions. If I scored within 100 points of my original score, they'd accept both results as legitimate. I was trapped, refuse, and they'd void my scores anyway. Accept, and I'd have to take the test legitimately. But I'd learned something during those 2 months of investigation. I'd actually gotten good at math. See, to communicate effectively with Emma, I'd had to understand the problems well enough to explain them in Morse code. I'd spent hours studying so I could ask better questions. The cheating system had accidentally forced me to learn the material. Retake day arrived. This time, no Emma, no intercom, no help. Just me, a pencil, and suddenly acquired math skills. I scored 1,520. College Board was baffled. My second score was only 60 points lower than my first. According to their metrics, both tests were legitimate. They closed the investigation and certified both scores. I got into Stanford.